I already know that a lot of women are going to feel like I'm beating them up in this particular video, but I hope you feel my heart and recognize that I really just want you to be blessed. Now let's get into it.
Your dating thingy is broken. Whatever that thingy is that would ordinarily help you to figure out who to date, how to date them, what to do, how to do it, that thingy is broken. It's not working. I feel like I continue to see the same type of stuff on repeat, and it's really crazy. Let me say for the record that I think it's different here in Tanzania. I don't want to normalize this as if it's happening everywhere, but it's definitely something that I observe a lot in Tanzania, where many of the women who are coming here, who are from the West, are coming with a lot of broken dating thingies and broken men thingies, like their men meter is broken. So the choices that they're making often wind up making them single mothers. There's a lot of women who came over here and became single mothers. And I don't recall seeing so much of that in Ghana or in Gambia, in Senegal, in Egypt, definitely not Morocco. I don't recall seeing people just come over as independent ladies and then leave as single mothers. Not seeing that. Of course, cultures are different from country to country, but there's something to be said about your dating thingy and your men thingy. And I want you to just be realistic with yourself because a lot of times people justify poor dating decisions, justify poor sexual choices, um, and try to make it seem as if it's okay. But I want you to ask yourself if you're considering coming over here and dating, I want you to ask yourself, how has your dating record been in the States? How has it been in Canada? How has it been in UK? How has it been in Australia? How has it been wherever you're coming from? If you've had if you've had a track record of making good choices and choosing good men and having good partnerships and having, great boyfriends and experiences, then I would say, yeah, you're in a great position to come to the continent and date.
Welcome back to the channel. You see the information on the screen, so you already know what I'm about. So let's get into it. And like I already said, I knew that this one was going to kind of ruffle a few feathers out there, but I am hoping that a lot of the women really kind of recognize again my heart in this. This is not me, like I say, trying to beat up on women or anything like that. This is really, again, just trying for me to illustrate some of the things that I am seeing that other people are seeing to help you find your person. And if you've been around my channel for any length of time, you know that I'm all about solutions. I'm not just about pointing fingers at the problem, which is what most people are out here doing because honestly, they don't want to help you. They just want to make money off of you, or they just want to create more drama and build up the gender war. All right. So I did want to read this one particular comment, and here it is. You are so right. I'm an African woman, and I have met African American women in we say Tanzania, but I think she said Tanzania, with a Mesa man with no jobs, nothing going on for himself, while she was educated and all. I'm a Congolese woman who moved to Tanzania. My mom is Tanzanian and my family is doing very well. I told her she needs to find someone on her level, tried to convince her to meet more interesting people, and she wasn't having it. How can you be someone and have no interest in conversation? My cousin was interested in her. Mind you, well educated, has his own business, well traveled. She wasn't interested and got mad at me saying I couldn't be her friend if I could not respect her relationship. The guy was not spending a cent. Anyway, I said, okay, and I left it alone. One of the things that's really interesting to me, since I've been doing this channel, and I'm always looking at, the comments here and there, right? And I'm not a big comment person, and I try to let the comments be your place, to have your opinions and say, what you want to say. But one of the things that I've seen over and over again, there's a certain type of man that generally pops up every blue moon, and he speaks a certain way in the comments. And it's generally a very emotional type of stabbing that he does, never really building up, some kind of real argument to some of the things that I am saying. And instead, he tries to jab at either me or something else, which I basically talk all the time and say that is feminine behavior. That is not masculine behavior at all. Masculine people solve problems, and even when they have something that is a differentiating opinion, what they try to do is they try to literally get their opinion out so that there is balance. And what I've noticed with a lot of the women that are in the comments, and they argue, back and forth, they have this notion of how they're dating and believing that the way that they're dating in order to find marriage, because remember, that is what this channel is about. It's not just about quote unquote dating, it's about marriage. I'm always telling people I am not a marriage coach. I am here to help you get married. So I don't really care how well you date. The only thing I care about is, do you have the skills in order to get married? And I go over those things all the time. But one of the things, again, that I find very interesting is that a lot of the women that tend not to like, a lot of the stuff that I say, a lot of the stuff that this particular lady says, who is daughter of Sankofa, okay? That is, who she is. That's her channel. But I find a lot of those types of women, again, they're not really getting it. Most of the women that I've talked to, well over half of the women that I have even collabed with on this channel are married. I think even a good portion of them are African, whether they're African from Africa or they're African living here in the States. One of the things that I have, noticed about when I have personally, dealt with people from overseas, and in the statements that they make about me, it could be considered disrespectful, but I understand a lot of times what they're saying. And a lot of times they'll be like, you don't act like black people. You don't act like the average African American. You seem cool. You seem like you're on the right path. Our energies align. They'll say little things like that because many times they're very surprised, okay, at the energy that I walk in. And see, this is the same energy that I'm always talking about throughout most of my videos. For men, I'm always saying, become a man, be a real man. Okay, stop leaning into your emotions. Okay, and I know maybe your mama allowed you to do that. And I understand that you might have gone through some things, but you got to come out of that. Okay, recognize that taking care of your family and even calming down an emotional woman, okay, is the rites of passage to a lot of men. Okay, but since this video is about the women and for the women, it's the same concept. When you go overseas, and this is what a lot of passport bros understand, and and a lot of women beat up on the passport bros. In fact, I've had plenty of passport bros come on this channel, and they're always thinking I am beating up on them, but I'm never beating up on them. It's like I've said, and she kind of said it too. Even from a passport bro perspective, if you don't understand, okay, what to do in America, you're still not going to be successful overseas. There's a certain percentage of women, whether they're black or they're white or another culture here in America, okay, that will understand and respect you as a man, okay, if you're walking correctly. Now, it might be few and far between, but if you can't recognize which women is which, and if you don't have the understanding of knowing what you're supposed to do, you can go right overseas, and even as a man, you will fail. All right. And you will tend to be attracted to the same types of women over there because it was just kind of like she was saying. There's men in Africa, okay, that will do you just like Pookie and Ray Ray. Okay, there are plenty of them, okay, over there. And so what this lady is basically saying for the women is that as a woman, if you're coming over here to Africa, but you do not understand what a good man looks like, it will not help you because you'll still be attracted to the African version of Pookie, the African version of a wayward man. So you have to realize, even when we talk about the Bible, and I'm always bringing up those two scriptures, and I'm always even encouraging everyone to read Proverbs, okay? But Proverbs 5 and Proverbs 7 tell you the type of person to leave alone. Now, originally, it was written for men, but I'm always telling women, God is always talking to his daughters. All you have to do is kind of switch the language around just a teeny tiny bit, and you will actually get the female version. And in Proverbs 5 and Proverbs 7, it basically warns you to stay away from smooth talking people, people that are not doing the gender specific things that, culturally they're supposed to do. Those are like two big warnings. And then actually in Proverbs 7, it literally says it will cost you your life. And again, a lot of people don't know how to read that term life. But we as Americans, we understand that there's multiple definitions of life. It's not always the life of literally life and death, i.e. you are dead, okay, i.e. getting like a disease or something. Sometimes what God is basically saying is the life that you wanted, your hopes and your dreams, having that house with the picket fence and the dog and the 2.5 children or whatever it is that your dream was, picking wrong can cost you that. And so what this lady is pretty much saying is that she sees the same thing in Africa. Black women who basically believe that the black men in America are trash. So they jump and they go overseas. But what they do is they find the exact same man, but now he's African. Okay? Because, see, there's quote unquote bad seeds everywhere. It's just quote unquote, we have more of them in America because of a lot of the stresses that have been placed upon black people generationally and also the lack of understanding. Because remember, that's what Jesus says. He basically says, my people fail for what? Lack of knowledge. And what's always interesting to me is that a lot of these types of videos, the very people that need to listen to them are generally the very people that will not. And that's why I try to give you a little bit of a warning, because I understand for a lot of women, this is painful. It's painful to basically understand, okay, at whatever age you are, whether it's 20, 30, 40, 50, that you don't know how to pick good men and that you're just not attracted to good men and that you would rather spend your sexual energy, okay, year after year after year chasing a dream than sobering up and understanding what a good man looks like so that you can finally find happiness, right? And so for me, what I've kind of said this over and over again, what women have to do is you have to understand, like I say, how to find that good man. And when you find him, I'm already letting you ladies know, many of you, if you've never found him, especially if you're 30 and up, it's going to be very difficult for you to feel sexually attracted to him. And the reason why, I've talked about this in a lot of different videos, so if you want the detailed information, you'll have to go and watch one of those videos. But the main key element is this: you're used to a certain way. You have a habit, and your habit is to go after a certain energy within a man. And that feels the most comfortable to you. But you can create new habits. That is one of the things that God has blessed us all with, because he wants us to be able to go down a path. I made a mistake, and now turn, right? But you have to make new habits. And as people say, it takes a minimum of 21 days to make a habit. All right. And when we're making a habit for ourselves, okay, it might take 21 days. But if we drop that into hours, okay, if you are dating a person, you're not literally going to be around them 24 hours times 21 days. Okay. And so what I am telling you is because you might be around another person, maybe 2 hours a day or maybe 7 or 10 hours a week, that can equate to approximately 7 to 9 months. Months. All right. And the reason why this is so important because a lot of women give up within 6 weeks. They feel like, oh, I'm really not feeling him. He's just not doing it for me, blah, blah, blah. And so they jump ship and they go back to what they're used to. But if you continue to do that, you're going to get the same results. And see, that is what everybody is screaming. That is what everybody really doesn't understand why a good portion, not all, but a good portion of black women just will not get that in their spirit. Okay? Because it's something that is so easy. It's such an easy fix. And it's like everybody else sees it, but the person are the people that are actually going through it. So for me, what I'm trying to get all of you to understand is that when you find a good man, especially if you're not really that sexually attracted to him, it gives you that ability to really understand him, to really know what he's about. Okay, and what are the things that you should be looking for? Again, you go to the non-negotiables. He should be a protector. Okay, so he cares about your physical being. He's concerned about everything from what food you eat to what drugs you put in your body, okay, to even your trip, like you going back and forth to work. Okay, he should be a provider. Now, there's a lot of arguments out on the internet about 100% provider versus a 50% provider. Honestly, I think a lot of that is garbage. Him being a provider is mainly saying, for the most part, okay, he is going to try to take care of you and the bills. And if you lose your job, okay, he's going to be there to make up the slack, even if he has to get 2 jobs in order to do so. Okay, but that does not mean that you're going to be living in the best house, that you're going to be driving a Mercedes, that you're going to have all of these other things that you don't really need. Those are wants, those are not needs. The final thing is he is going to be a leader. All right. So he is going to lead you from place to place. He is going to listen to you, your hopes, your desires, and he's going to try to help to bring those things about in this earth by leading you down a path. Okay. And those are the core elements. The final thing, which kind of sums a lot of that up, is he is going to take ownership of you. Okay. You don't own your body when you're in a relationship, and he does not own his own. Okay, even the Bible goes into this, right? So what happens is he's going to care about every single thing that you do. The phone calls that you make, who your friends are. You might think, well, that's controlling and blah, blah, blah. And again, that shows that you do not understand a good man. Because every single good man for a woman that does not understand men is going to seem a little bit controlling. Because how can he lead you if he does not know where you are and what you're doing? Okay. But again, this should feel good to you. It should feel comfortable to you. You should not feel manipulated. You should not feel hurt. You might be upset maybe for an hour or 2 hours or whatever because it might be something new. But the next day you're going to wake up and you're going to be like, well, yeah, he don't really want me to go out with my girlfriends, every other weekend, but he makes it up by, the time that we spend, and I do feel safer. And he never says anything off color. He never makes me feel bad, blah, blah, blah. And I think, again, that there's this misconception that a lot of, these more normalized men are boring. But again, the rest of the world understands that these are the type of men to go for. The rest of the world. And I really have to kind of, push that home because, again, when I am talking to a lot of the women, again, on this channel or whatever, a lot of these women are married. They're married. Okay? And how can you deny as a woman that a married woman is up here agreeing with me. It's like most of the people on YouTube that are married and that are speaking from a marriage place, I'll be honest, they might have followings, but it doesn't seem like they have nearly the following of the people who are the manipulators who might have 1 million, 2 million, a half a million, or whatever it is followers. Again, why would you listen to somebody that has no knowledge at all? I mean, it would be better for you, really just to not listen to anybody at that point. There is no easy way. Okay, there's none. People are trying to help you. Okay, but remember, nobody can replace the 18 years that your parents were supposed to be together. They were supposed to be good to each other, and they were supposed to be good to you and teach you what to look for. And just because a man is walking around, okay, with a job, okay, taking care of his family and his responsibilities, that does not mean he's boring. Because again, the rest of the world, all these other women, they seem to have babies all over the place. Some of these women are having 5, 6, 7, 8 babies. So evidently, these men know what they're doing. So you got to get out of your head, okay, all of the lies that the enemy has put in or society has put in, and recognize the people that are actually trying to help you. And again, like I said, I'll see it in the comments. I'll see it in the likes or dislikes from this video. But to me, again, it's always interesting to me because when you have a situation where you're really trying to help people and all these other people are trying to help you, it's always, like I say, it's this true correlation between the people that are smart enough to listen and say, hey, I need to get on this marriage path, okay, versus the people that are like, I don't want to listen to that because that hurts my feelings. And there's always going to be things that hurt your feelings. In fact, some of the best information you can ever get from a person, wisdom you can get from a person, many times hurts you. Even again, Proverbs talks about that because God is always disciplining his children. When I go to church, many times I want something to kind of hurt me a little bit, to get me on the right path a little bit. I don't always want to feel good. And again, if you've been tracking with my channel for a while, that's why I'm so against a lot of feminine pastors. Okay, that all they do is hoop and holler and they make you feel good, but they're not giving you the discipline that you need in order to live a successful life. Okay, and people even might think that those types of churches are boring because the pastor spends more time teaching you than preaching to you. Anyway, I hope this video helps. Remember, we're doing a lot with, the Zoom lives, which happen on Thursday. And again, that is your time to come out and talk about it. Teach me about you. Teach others about your experience. That is what the Zoom live is for. When I get on the Zoom live, I don't really want to talk. I want to listen. I want to know more about what you all are doing. So anyway, please like, please subscribe, and I'm going to see you all in the very next video.